Hi everyone. In the past, I created a few videos on my channel showcasing the various CPA review courses out in the market, such as Becker, UWorld Rogers CPA Review, and Gleim CPA Review. As I mentioned before, I don't get paid by any of these review courses to make these videos. I only create these videos so that my students, most of whom will be taking the CPA exam, will be aware of all the great options out there. If your goal is to pass the CPA exam, you absolutely have to take a CPA review course. Thus, if you haven't done so already, please check out those videos on my channel. Having said that, I want to mention to you all that we are in for a treat today because my special guest is Phil Yaeger, owner and founder of Yaeger CPA Review, another one of the prominent CPA review courses that has been around in the market for many, many years. Phil, thanks so much for making time to do this video with me.
Well, Ming, it's a pleasure to meet you and speak to you again. And it was good talking to you about the situation with the accounting field as far as students not majoring necessarily on accounting like they used to. So I'm looking forward to this, and I'll just let you take it right now.
Phil, my first question for you is, your review course has been around since 1977. That's the year actually I was born. Can you briefly share
Oh, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Good.
Well, can you briefly share with my viewers the origins of your review course and how it has evolved to be what it is today?
No problem at all. In 1974, I started studying for the CPA exam. I think it was 74, 75. It wasn't 74, but 75. And I took this review course in the Washington, D.C. area. And then I took the exam. Now, the premise of this course was to basically just memorize old questions and also shows you how to do certain things. For example, if you add this to this and you subtract that, you'll always get the break even, for example. Now, I took the exam, and back then you had to take all four parts at the same time. I took the exam and I failed the exam. And then I realized, what is the problem? Was it me? Did I do something wrong? Or, all right, was it the course? And I realized it was the course because the course did not explain the concepts, all right? And I said to myself, if I do a CPA review, which I was thinking about for a long time, I know I can do a better job. And I believe in this. If you understand the concepts, then you'll have no problem no matter what they ask you. And that's what that course was lacking.
Well, the next thing I wanted to ask you is, as we all know, there are many review courses out in the market for students to choose from to help them prepare for the CPA exam. Now, what makes Yaeger a great choice?
Well, as I just said, I took a course where it was just memorization. And I realized if you don't understand the concepts, you can't answer the questions. So what I did was I actually, when I teach our course, I make sure where it's possible to learn why you're doing something. Now, of course, there is some memorization. You can't avoid that. But in Yaeger CPA Review, what I do is I use a board. I use the old-fashioned board, the whiteboard, and I explain different things. In other words, if someone's doing dollar value LIFO, I explain to them what dollar value LIFO is. I just don't explain to them, add this, subtract that, that type of thing. And with that, the students say, you know, Phil, I understand what I'm doing. It makes the questions a lot easier to do when I do them. So that's really my whole concept. Yeah, my whole concept. That's my whole philosophy. Understand the concepts, all right? And you'll be able to do anything they throw at you.
You know, Phil, you forgot to mention one other thing. We were conversing earlier. You mentioned you actually give your students your personal cell phone number. That is wild. I don't know of any review course instructor that does that.
When you buy our course, I give you my phone number. And the reason is, all right, when I sell a course, it just doesn't end there. I don't take your money and say, good luck to you, all right? I give you my phone number because I know as a student, I try to put myself in the student's position and say, they're going to have questions. And I say to them, here is my phone number. You can call me 7 days a week, and you can even call me on holidays. And if I'm available, I will, answer your questions because you're not worried. You're not. Let's put it this way: you don't care about Phil Yaeger taking off on the weekend and having a good time. All right. If you have a problem and you run across a problem, you want to be able to talk to me. And also, a lot of times you get discouraged. And that's another thing I do. I try to motivate the students with these phone calls. All right. And I use this philosophy. I say to them, you cannot quit under no conditions, because if you quit, all right, and stop studying, you'll regret this for the rest of your life. That's the one thing I have to say about getting the CPA. It changed my life.
But that's amazing, Phil. I mean, it's very generous of you to give people your personal number and also be available 24/7 and on the holidays. That's wild. Well, thank you for sharing that. As we all know, CPA review courses are very expensive. Does your review course offer students an opportunity to sample your video lectures or your other materials to see if a student actually likes it before making a big purchase like this?
Yes, we have a 3-day trial period. Now, what does that mean? There are 4 parts to the exam. I will say to you, what part, I try to, if they don't know what part to start with, I try to give them the advice as far as what part. But what I do is I do this. I say to them, all right, look at the 3-day trial. So if you're going to do financial accounting, take the 3-day trial for financial accounting, because that's the course you'll get. It's not a special promotional type thing that I give you. I give you free use of that part for 3 days. And I also say this to you. If you like what you see, then buy the course. If you don't like it, don't buy the course. And we're very reasonably priced. For example, all 4 parts, about $1,200. Or you can do one part at a time, and it's about $300. We don't penalize you because you get one part at a time. All right. It's about $300. And I think that's very reasonably priced. We don't have to charge a lot of money because the marketing for our course is not done by, necessarily us. The marketing are our students. Our students like the course so much that they go out and they really promote it for us. So I don't have to spend tons of money marketing. So I can offer it at a reasonable price. And also, let me just mention another thing to you. If you say to yourself, not to yourself, because you'll be talking to yourself, but if you say to me, Phil, all right, I went to this school, or I go to this school, I work for this firm, or I took another course, I'll say, they'll ask me if there's any discounts. I'll say most definitely. And it could be like 20% off of that $1,200. So you're really coming out with a very affordable, price. Hey, I can charge that and still make a profit. I don't have to gouge the public. So, that's why I can afford to give it for a lower price.
Wonderful. Last question for today. Is there anything else you would like to share with my viewers that we didn't get a chance to address earlier?
Yes. I must tell you that there are roughly, all right, as a provider, we pay a royalty to the Yaeger CPA for the use of their questions. They release to me, all right, and other courses, all right, the same thing. We're all approved course providers. They release about 1,200 multiple choice questions. That's in all 4 parts. They release to us some of the task-based simulations, but not a lot. And, all right, with those, we make sure that when we're explaining the information and we illustrate the points, we only use the release questions. We don't use questions that we necessarily will make up on our own, all right? But I can give you an exception to that. When they came out with the new lease chapter, all right, there were no release questions on the leases. So I had to take the old lease questions and actually convert them to the current rules. And that area is a really bare. But I can take leases and I can make it so easy that you will understand it, because I've been doing this for so many years. I know we started this on the year that Ming was born, all right? And it doesn't feel like that. I still enjoy it. I still enjoy the activity. And by the way, why do I give my phone number out to the students? Because I enjoy talking with them, all right? Hey, this is a life of interpersonal skills. That's what I have. And I keep that, and I will always do that. I will always answer questions. And as I say, whether you call me on a holiday or just a weekend or anytime, I will take your phone calls.
Well, Phil, it was great chatting with you today. To me, it's a great honor to actually be able to speak to a founder review course that has a long history of helping people successfully pass the CPA exam. I can clearly tell from what you said today, you're very passionate about helping your students. Now, I'm going to put in your company website as well as your contact information in the video description below. So I want to say thank you again for coming, and I look forward to chatting with you in the near future.
Well, thank you, Ming. I enjoyed it very much.